Hey, this is Dave King from Brightside and the Solar Panel. I want to give a special shout out to your Aussie Facebook group for Suns fans and for your pod Big Three of Gav, Hamo, and Cable, as well as my good friend Nate, who contributes on the podcast a lot. Good job. Keep up all the hard work, and we'll see you on the Solar Panel when you guys watch again.
Welcome everybody to season 2, episode 2. Realistically, our first pod of the year, heading into the start of the season, which kicks off tomorrow our time. The Suns actually play on Wednesday our time, but the actual NBA season excitingly starts tomorrow our time. Can't wait for it. I've had enough of not having NBA basketball to watch. Nate, welcome back. How you going, pal?
Good. It's been a good week. What can I say? We're all out of it. You're out of it. What is it, Thursday? Your Freedom Day?
Yeah, midnight. Well, it's actually Friday. It's midnight Thursday night, Freedom Day.
So next week we'll all be back to 3 individuals doing this pod.
Magnificent. I might not be able to get on for a few weeks just because everything will open up and I'll just want to go and do shit.
You'll be at
but who knows? Boyd, welcome back, mate. It's been a long week since last week. How's it all going up there?
Mate, beautiful. Storming. We've got hail. It's lovely up here, mate, in sunny Queensland. But no, mate, just wrangling kids and yeah, just a busy life, man. So time to have a bit of fun on the pod, eh?
And before I get to our last podder, that's the best thing about the Freedom Day coming this Thursday. Next week, it's only part-time, but the week after, my fucking kids go back to school full-time, and I cannot wait. Hamo, welcome back, mate. Missed last week. Great to have you here. How was the off-season break for you, mate?
Pretty relaxing. Didn't really pay attention to a lot of what was going on. Just really wanted to take in what happened last year and just wait until this year and really enjoy it.
Good to hear, mate. Good to hear. And before we get right into the swing of things, obviously, we touched on it in last week's pod, but the Phoenix Mercury went down in 4 games yesterday, unfortunately, but a great season by the Mercury. So good to see. Hopefully more Phoenix Suns fans actually jumped on and started supporting the girls as well. I will say, even though they lost in 4, it was a pretty good series to watch. I actually enjoyed a lot of the basketball that was played in that. I don't know whether you guys saw any of it.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Game 3, but other than that.
Yeah, go well. Yeah, Game 3 wasn't great. Did you get to see any of it, Boyd?
Nah, mate. I was working, but saw the box scores and stuff, and fuck, we shit the bed in that fourth quarter, didn't we?
We certainly did.
Far out. Jesus.
Yeah, that was a big choke, that last quarter, and particularly some of the shots were like open layups under the basket in that last few minutes. So pretty sad. Hamo, did you see any of the game?
I did not see any of the game, unfortunately.
Okay, we'll roll on then. We're going to move into our season preview. Our preseason wrap. So we're obviously the preseason wrapped up after our last pod. We covered most of what happened over the preseason, but obviously the significant news since our last pod is the extension to Mikhail Bridges, $90 million, 4 years. Pretty straightforward extension, but extremely good both for the player and the team. As just a little bit of an aside to that, which something else I will bring up tonight. Interesting to note that now that he's signed, Mikhail Bridges can't be traded for 6 months, which takes us outside of the trade period. So there's no way Mikhail Bridges could be traded out of the Suns this season. But it's exciting to have Mikhail wrapped up, though. I think he's a pretty important player for us, Nate.
I think it's exciting to hear what he said going into the announcement or just before the announcement. So I've written it down. He's quoted as saying, "I just want to be here, man. That's what the whole thing is. I just want to be here."
There wasn't anything of the Ayton variety where I think we all heard what DeAndre said and about his disappointment that nothing had happened for him.
Well, Mikhail also made a comment. We're talking about him and Ayton. and he's quoted as saying, "We want to be here. It's plain and simple, man." And that was his response to Ayton. So I think as far as the players are concerned, they're giving us a clear message that Ayton wants to be here.
Yeah.
So whatever this lag on is, it's. I mean, even this the photo 4 days ago from Rob Sava and Ayton
Yeah, on
sitting there together,
TMC.
having a drink and having a chat. It's just the two of them. There's no agents. There's no one else. So that's. Boyd will talk more to that. We're on Bridges at the moment. So,
Boyd, what's your thoughts there with Mikhail? I know you were pretty happy this morning when you opened up the Facebook chat and saw the message.
Yeah, mate, I thought it was a bit of a no-brainer, and fuck me, like 90 mil over 4 years is bloody unreal. I think we, like, as things were dragging on, we were looking at everyone started off thinking, 85, and then a little bit of time went by and we started thinking, oh, okay, 90, okay, 95. We're getting up to 100. So we're looking at 20, rounded out 25 million per year over 4 years. But yeah, look, to get him for 90 and the cap spikes incoming, that's going to look a lot better in years to come. And it'll either be a crackerjack, one for us, and he could solidify himself as a third man maybe, but you know what, we can always move on from that contract if it's a part of a bigger deal for a superstar down the track, because that's how good that contract is. So it's a really good asset for us moving forward. But the really good thing about that, Gav, is he didn't get the 5 year. See, we can't throw out two rookie scale maxes this season. So that 5 years obviously held for DA if there is a deal about to be done in the next sort of 23 hours or so, or 24 hours, or however many hours until, what was it, Nate?
I think it's 3 p.m. US time
Well, I couldn't find an actual timeline anywhere. We were just talking offline before that the deadline's the 18th of October because the start of the regular season starts on the 19th.
Yep.
So technically, from the wording I'm reading, it could go up to 11:59. But I didn't read 6 p.m. or 3 p.m. And
no, I did. I read
Pacific
something
time or Eastern time. Or
I did read something today, and it might have been from Flex, that basically said if nothing happens before the 3 p.m. deadline. So
is that
2 a.m. in Phoenix now?
Flex,
Right? It's 2 a.m. So there's plenty of time.
Still plenty
It's
of time.
13 hours if it's 3 p.m. Okay.
But yeah, look, so regardless of whether it's 12 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock, the fact that he got 4 years and not 5 is that means that there is still something cooking with DA. They've still got that 5 year contract for a rookie extension that they can throw out. And yeah. Look, I think it happens, but anyway, we'll see.
Yeah, it's look, it was exciting with the whole Mikhail thing. I think just nailing that down, and I read an article today that basically wrapped up the signing and said that basically it made Phoenix's off-season an A-grade off-season by getting Mikhail. And I think the description was really apt, which was basically they believe he's really the best two-way 3-and-D player in the competition. And that position, as popular as it was sort of 3 or 4 seasons ago, had started to peter out with the guys that were playing the roles, and Mikhail sort of brought it back. So it's really positive for us. Hamo,
before I remind you of what you said, do you agree with that statement that you read?
That he's the best 3-and-D player in the competition? I think he is at the moment.
Because last week I can quote you as saying you thought his progression was going to taper off a bit this year.
No, incorrect. Geez, you misquote me. You misquote me all the time. What I said was that I don't believe that he'll take as significant a leap as what everybody is predicting he will take. I think that he will still absolutely improve this year, but the talk about him becoming our number 3 player this year, I think is too premature.
Nate, he actually said campaign was going to taper off.
Yeah, campaign's gone.
Was that the taper off comment?
Yeah,
Yeah.
campaigns.
I know you didn't
Campaigns
speak too
finished.
highly.
That pissed me off as well.
Yeah. Sorry, Ian. I took your thunder there. Hammer.
No, you're
Go
all
for
right, man.
What do you got for us, Hammo?
Not a lot now.
it.
No, look, it's a really great sign, and I didn't know what Boyd was saying about how that leaves it open for DA, which is extremely promising. I think it's integral to keep as many of these young guys that we've grown up with. They've grown up together as a unit, like Mikhail especially and DA and that. So I think it's brilliant. Like Boyd said again, no brainer.
And well, you weren't on last week. Was there anything else from the preseason that stood out to you and excited you about what's coming up?
Oh, look, just a couple of little notes I've had, like, Booker, obviously, we loved how he come back, didn't miss a beat. I'm loving a few of our other signings. Alfred Payton, I liked how you guys touched on him last week. From what I've seen of him, he looks like he's matured a fair bit, not so flashy. He's really good on the defense and, could be good for us this season.
Yeah, well, I've got I've had a little bit of a mindset shift on what I said last week, Boyd, with the fact that Alfred Payton could become our number 2. I've changed on that now. I still think the campaign will slide, but I think Landry Shamet will end up becoming that backup and probably take those minutes off him. But that's just me.
Okay.
Okay. I like to make sure that everybody gets stays on your toes out here. One question I did have as an extension of preseason wrap, what I did notice was Book was more than willing in transition to take those pull-up threes. Do you think we'll see a little bit more of that from Book this year? Because while his elbow jumper is him and Chris Paul are basically lethal from that elbow pull-up jumper, I get a feeling that Book might start to look at putting more on the board from behind the arc. Did anyone else see that or believes that might happen?
Yeah, mate, and he was really effective. And, I hope so, but I think it's all going to come down to what the team needs and to be, it depends on the staggering of the minutes with him and Chris Paul. I think they need to maintain pressure in that mid range to keep everyone honest. But look, of course, we all want him to do it. We all want him to bang bloody, shoot 60% from 3 and take 1,000 of the fucking things. But I think he was a little bit more liberal just because it was preseason, and a bit of an uptick would be great, but I don't think he's not just going to become that guy. He's still going to work around and play make as well. So, yeah.
What about you, Nate?
I thought all of last season he didn't take what we expected to see at the 3-point line, and the only thing I really put it down to was he was making smarter decisions about increasing his effectiveness. Yep. So he was taking the more effective percentage shots rather than the ones that he probably would have when he was younger and in his rookie contract. So I don't know. I'm not going to splits the difference, doesn't he?
Yeah. No, probably good point. All right. No other comments about preseason from anyone? I
do have one.
Here we go.
This is I wanted to find something interesting that was unique about the transition. So part of my preseason wrap was the turnaround from last game of the finals to first game of the season this week coming. And it is, in our lifetime, the shortest turnaround ever for a Suns team. So looking at the days, the 2021 finals finished game 6 on the 21st of July. Season kicks off on the 19th of October. So forgetting preseason, that's an 83-day turnaround. The only other time that we've been right to the end, obviously, game 6 as well, was the 1993 NBA Finals. And that game finished on the 20th of June, a whole month earlier than last season did for us. And the next season, reg season, didn't start till the 5th of November. So it was a 136-day turnaround.
Which is a big gap, isn't it?
136 days versus 83, and the quickest turnaround in Suns history that in our lifetime.
And somehow we
Yes.
still look fresh despite Sarich.
And that's what I was going to tie it back to, other than the Sarge thing. That's what I was going to tie it back to. The 4-1 record ain't bad, right? Like it
Yep.
blew the cobwebs off against Sac, and then went 4 straight.
Yep.
Twice
We,
against.
but we barely
Twice
played
against
anyone.
LA.
We barely played any of our guys. Once we started getting into the Lakers, we started ramping up the the starters a bit more, and then
Rotations,
I'm not putting anything on it. Preseason doesn't mean shit, and we all
No,
know
it
that.
doesn't.
But,
Yeah.
but
No,
I'm
but
just
even gave
thinking, for the way
Portland a
they
decent
looked at the
touch-up,
turnaround we had, I think it's impressive.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. And look, let's not write off preseason completely, because the most enjoyable part of preseason was watching the Lakers lose all 6 of their games. So let's not write that off completely. And also watching the Charlotte Hornets lose by nearly 70 and
70 points.
somebody
Yeah.
else
Oh my
lose by
God.
nearly 70. Jesus Christ. Anyway,
Just one quick thing is I really think in the preseason, Landry Shamet and JaVale McGee really cemented, did some good shit, man. And yeah, they really cemented themselves as, pushing into that, maybe not starting lineup, but getting some serious minutes as 6th, 7th, 8th men. But we'll see a fair bit of these guys, which is good.
just
Good
gotta
problem,
love the way they fit in. It was so seamless. They looked like they'd been there for seasons, which was great. Any last comments from you, Hamo?
No, mate. I think we're good to go.
All right, season previews. So we're going to just roll in a little bit. I think we sort of spoke about the fact, or spoke a lot about what our expectations were from for the Suns for next season. From a preview perspective, I think we have to sit down and look at. I think most of us put our win predictions in. We'll get yours in here as well, Hamo, in this little section to work out what your wins prediction is for this season. But I think from a Suns perspective, I think we're really, really well set up at the moment. From a roster perspective, we've still got a spot. I know that Boyd, were you the one that was mentioning that we're likely to roll in with 14 and the 2-way contract to try and potentially save some coin?
Not coin to I think it's going to be used for that 15 spot for a buyout candidate, or maybe getting 2 guys back in a trade if we do something around Thad Young, maybe getting an extra guy there if there's a third team or whatever. But I think that's going to remain there for a bit of flexibility. We just recently waived Chasson Randall. That was the training camp guy. So now we only have Chandler Hutchinson on that 2-way contract. So we've still got the one roster spot and the 1 2-way contract.
Boyd, have you had a look at that 2-way contract? Do you know what he's getting paid?
No.
He's still getting paid by San Antonio on $4 million.
Oh, really?
He had guaranteed money on the trade that sent him to San Antonio, and they waived him on guaranteed money. I wrote it down. He was still getting $4 million plus.
Because he was still on his rookie deal, wasn't he?
Contract, yeah.
Yeah. No, that doesn't surprise me. Like he was supposed to be better than what he wound up putting out on the court, but. Yeah. Actually, I do recall something about it. I didn't know it was that much, Nate. It's
nice to have someone paying for us and somebody else is paying him for a change.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Exactly right. And actually, I thought his preseason form was solid. I mean, I can't see him getting a heck of a lot of minutes during the year, but when he did play in the preseason, I thought he was okay. He was probably no worse than the bottom end of our roster last year.
Oh no, I yelled out Hutch quite a few times during the Portland game. It's like, Hutch, where'd this guy come from?
What's a 2-way contract is only good for 41 days, though, isn't it? Or was it 41 games? So of the roster, of the schedule, sorry. So they play half the schedule, or is it they can only play 41 games?
I think there's a certain point where there is a certain point where they've got to send him up or send him down or bring him up.
Yeah.
Or I think.
And then his contract becomes guaranteed if you don't.
Yeah, something like that. Like man, I don't really
I
He's
think
gonna
he
take
can
a
play.
roster spot,
I
though.
think he can play more than the 41. I'm not. Look, I'm no expert on the two-way contract, but I thought it was similar to what Boyd explained there. If we could send him to a G League team, then basically bring him back and play him again. If he gets to a certain amount of games, then we have to get him back to the G League. Otherwise, his contract becomes guaranteed.
Yep.
And then that takes a roster spot.
Yep, correct.
not
Correct.
getting
So
a roster spot.
that'll be interesting. What I wanted to flow on to here with the season preview is one touch again on that Thad Young trade. If we look off the back of preseason, would everyone still be comfortable with the Thaddeus Young trade for a Saric and Jalen Smith and potentially a pick?
I don't know
Or-
about the pick,
or
but
do
I'm
you
not
think-
upset by that.
Or do you think we should be giving Jalen Smith the opportunity?
I still don't like the pick.
We need to wait and see what happens with DA. We can't go throwing Jalen Smith away. Well, we wouldn't be throwing him away, sorry. But with just not knowing what's going on with DA's contract, I'd be very hesitant to make too many decisions. But
Well, look, reality is you'd play Thaddeus Young as a backup centre before you played Jalen Smith. In all due
fair
respect
call.
to Jalen
Yeah.
Smith.
Yeah.
I still think he's far too raw. I called him the other day. I called him a well-behaved Marquise Chris. I still believe that. I just can't see that term, and I think that his trade value is as high as we're ever going to see it, where it stands right now. So that's my
fair call.
opinion there. Another thing I brought up the other day, which I was really interested in Boyd's feedback and probably Nate's as well, because I'm not sure whether he saw it. And Hamo, I always like to hear your opinion on these things. With the contract status of DA where it is right now, and I'm not saying we should or shouldn't do this. This is just merely opinions. There was a rumour of a trade for Ayton, Jay Crowder, Saric, and a pick for Karl Anthony Towns. Is that something that, as a Phoenix supporter, you would be interested in seeing happen based on where the current DA contract? And I know somebody said the other day in a comment that, you know, Ayton's still young, he's got plenty of upside, and Cat's finished. Cat's only like 1 year older than Devin Booker, so he's really not that old. He's got plenty of time left. Hey,
Who said that?
who said? I said that.
No, who said he was? Who said Cat was nearly done?
Oh, I can't remember. I've got to read. I'd have to go back to the comments, but
sure.
basically it was just a throwaway comment I read, and I sort of went, well, I don't agree with that.
He's
Sorry.
26.
Yeah, he's still Cat's still a kid. So from that perspective, there's no way you'd write it off. From a floor spreading perspective and an actual overall impact perspective, right now, Cat's a better player than DeAndre Ayton, and it just depended on how he would fit in the rotation, and that's something you'd never ever know until it happened. So, Hamo, I'm going to kick this one off with you. What would your thoughts be around a trade-off of DeAndre Ayton and bringing Cat in, keeping in mind we do lose two starters because we'd lose Ayton and Crowder?
No fucking way. No, I'm sorry.
Why? No.
Look, this is what I love about our little dynamic that we got going on here. Nate's a very smart man. Boyd's very up to date with the contracts. I just talk with my heart, and I don't want to see a guy who wanted to play in Arizona from day one, who has grown. I think we're just expecting too much of him, especially me. But no, I mean, I know Cat and Book got the Kentucky relationship, and that's all well and good, but this is big boy stuff now, man. And I liked Cat when he first come out, but I haven't seen him do much in a long time, man. And to lose Crowder and I can't remember who else you said, was it Saric?
Saric.
Yeah. Well, Saric is up in the air at the moment anyway, but Crowder has been massive for us as well. and become a huge part of the off-court team as well. From what I can see, you know, they're all at the Mercury game and all of that. But I wouldn't be so eager to discount a fella who, from day one, said that he wanted to stay in Arizona. He loved Arizona. He wanted to play in Phoenix, and we took a risk on him. We could have gone the easy option and taken Luka. Might not have worked for us. I still don't think it would have. But no, long ran over. I wouldn't be doing it, man.
Boyd?
This was my 60 seconds.
Well, I'll skip you then. Nate?
Oh, spot on. All right. Look, no. Initially, no. The only reason you consider it is if Ayton has a cry and says or tries to leverage further. I mean, if
Bledsoe route, I don't want to be here.
Exactly.
I
If
don't
they
think
go
he'd
down
ever
that road,
pull back.
I don't agree with any of that. Get out then. We'll take someone else. I don't see him doing that. I think that quote I gave before that Mikhail saying they both want to be here is spot on. So if he wants to be here, you don't do it.
So and obviously Boyd's a little bit hamstrung, so I don't want to go too much deeper into this conversation because I don't want to steal his material. But conspiracy theory wise, and I'm not saying this 100%, but it just stuck in my head today. Is this part of the reason? Because same thing as with the Mikhail deal. Is this part of the reason that the contract with DeAndre Ayton hasn't been done? Because if the extension happens, no trade can happen. Just throwing it out there.
God, I hope not.
All right, let's move into our next segment, which is season predictions. We're just going to run through both the East and West. What I want to do is, from you guys, get your top four from both of the East and the West. We will have a look at the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man, and Most Improved, which are the main awards at the end of the year, and have a look at whether or not we think any of the Suns will make an All-NBA or an All-Defensive team. And I'm going to kick this one off with Boyd. Boyd, give me your top four from the East this season.
Top four. I'm going number one, Brooklyn. Number two, Milwaukee. Number three, there's a whole bunch here. Once upon a time, I had Chicago up in my top four, but they've fallen out. That's my one of my hot takes are that Chicago is going to be in the play-in at best.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Number three, I'm going to say Boston. I think Boston, they're gonna start leveling out, and I fucking hate Tatum, but I think he's going to mature a little bit, and especially having Al Horford back, I think he's that veteran presence that they really missed. Number four, I want to say 76ers, but they're about to be they're about to lose a couple of players, I think, sometime soon. It's going to rock the boat a little bit.
About to be blowed up.
Blowed up, yes. I'm going to go with Miami.
Yeah. Nate, what do you got for us? Top four from the East.
Look, I had I did have it in a particular order. Nets, Bucks, Heat, and Philly as my four for the East. I think Philly's still sorted out, and just on culture and Embiid alone will pull it out. But we're not doing the predictions and stuff.
We'll get to the rest of those. We'll go through.
I kind of wanted to shit on Boyd a little bit there, so I'll call that back later.
Good. Look forward to it.
We'll go through each at a time so that we don't forget any as we're rolling through. Hamo?
We're just doing the East now, are we?
Just the East for the moment.
So I've got Milwaukee, Nets, Miami, and I've actually got Chicago.
Nice. I think Chicago will be an extremely good team to watch, but I think they'll leak points. So It's effectively if they come up against defensive units, which the East have a couple of really good, solid defensive units. I'm kind of with Boyd that I think they'll struggle in those games, and
Could be a
it'll be
time
interesting
for
to
the
see.
Knicks to step up and maybe do.
All right, for
damage.
me, I've got without knowing what Kyrie's doing, I've got the Bucks finishing on top of the East.
Kyrie doesn't know what Kyrie's doing.
I've got Miami finishing second in the East. I love their acquisitions in the offseason. I think they're going to be far improved, and they seem to have a really good team spirit like Phoenix does. So I'll be interested to see how they go, but I really like Miami for second. I think the Nets, I mean, you can't write the Nets off. They've still got KD and Harden there. But if either of those two miss games, which I think they will, they'll drop those games and finish third. I think they'll be happy with that. Won't matter. They're going to be a playoffs team. And I've actually got Atlanta finishing fourth. I know they made it a long way through last year, but I just love that they've got a lot of young guys like Phoenix do. And I think that the extra year and the playoff run that they had will add a really, really strong level of experience. And that I just see them getting a lot better, particularly through the regular season. I think they're really, really well put together, a really well put together roster. So I have them up there as well. All right, the West, Boyd, what do you got for us?
Phoenix, man. Phoenix number one. And I will go, I think the Lakers are going to fall off. The Clippers are going to fall off. I don't want to go Utah. I just feel like they're just going to be that much more predictable. Give me Denver. So give me Phoenix, Denver, Utah at third, and I will go with Golden State Warriors fourth.
Oh, nice. Nate, what do you got for us?
Suns, Denver, Dallas, Jazz.
Ooh, Dallas.
Fuck off with your Dallas shit. Fuck off.
Well,
Was that your slap?
It is for you for later.
Jeez, jeepers. Jeepers. All right, Hamo, what do you got?
Keep the theme rolling with Phoenix, Jazz, Golden State, and Dallas.
Fucking.
Jesus.
Okay.
Okay. Is this because Dallas won a preseason game by 85 points or something?
No,
Okay.
I just think there's got to be a shift happen soon, man. I mean, it could be
fair
San
call.
Antonio. Who knows?
Well, that's unlikely. But let's.
But what's he got to get? 26 more wins to be the most winning coach in history?
Something like that. But that's about the total wins they'll have this year, San Antonio.
Yeah, by one.
Yeah. So for me, I think the team with the best record in the West will be Denver. Phoenix will come in second. And I'm backing this off the fact that I think Chris Paul will miss a much larger chunk of games this year. Third place in the West for me will be the Lakers, mainly because they still play a lot of shit sides. And when they come up against those shit sides, they'll beat up on them. So they will win a lot of games. Against the top sides, they'll struggle, but I think they'll win enough games to finish in the top three, and they do target that. And if they get Bron and AD rolling, we know they're going to win games there. I think once they come into having to play back-to-back series against sides in the playoffs, they're going to really struggle and probably not make it past the first round. But I think they'll finish third. And fourth will not be Dallas. Nate, I'm with you there. Fuck Dallas.
That'd be
I'm sorry, Boyd. I'm with you. Fuck Dallas. And also, I don't think Utah will make the top four. I think Utah will slip off significantly this year. And I'm going to make your big call for the East match the West. Utah's best effort this year will be the play-in games. And I actually think that I think the Warriors will jump back up into the top four in the West.
Yeah.
So what's your top four again, Gav?
It is Denver, Phoenix, Lakers, Warriors.
Denver,
you
Phoenix.
Like a nation up there.
Denver in 4. Okay. MVPs. What do you got for us, Boyd?
MVP.
MVP.
MVP. It's not going to be Jokic. It's not going to be Giannis. But Bing. I'll give it to Steph. I reckon he has a big year. That's why he's going to get him back into. I don't know. Fuck, I'm not going to say
Top
that.
4 seats.
No. Swing it. Fuck me. I just want to say Devin Booker, dudes. But
Well, what? Give us your MVP and your best Suns chance.
Well, the best Suns chance I think is Book. Another big step this year. And I'm just going to say Giannis because everything's going to point at him having numbers that sort of deserve it. I just don't know if there's going to be any voters fatigue because he's fairly recently, got the nod. But I'll go Giannis just out of spite for other people, and that's just how I do it, man. I just fucking can't. If anyone says Luka Doncic, I'm gonna fucking throw up in my mouth.
Well, I reckon you're just about to throw up in your mouth, Nate. Who's your prediction for MVP?
He's not going to throw up in his mouth at this one. I don't think Doncic actually makes the conversation. I do think Dallas gets better, but I don't think it's because he's in the MVP conversation. I don't want to be agreeable, but Gav, I reckon you and me got the same one here. I have Durant penciled down as my first pick. And my alternate was there's been a lot of back-to-back MVPs over the last decade, so Joker has to be in that mix again. And I did have Denver as my number 2. You had him as the number 1 coming out the West, so Jokic is going to get the stage again to repeat. And I just think now that Durant's back and he's had a year under his belt of healing and proven that he's back to the best form ever, I just see him carrying the Nets.
I think the Durant love in the playoffs has reignited the love for Durant right across the board, but that's just me. Hamo, who have you got MVP?
I've always loved KD, man. I know Boyd hates him, but yeah, same thing all you guys said. I think he's going to have a huge year. He's going to have to, man. Someone's going to have to step up and play. Kyrie's going to be playing with my mate Ben Simmons somewhere.
Ben will play, mate. He was back at training today.
Oh, I never said he wouldn't play. He might play at Brisbane, but he might play. But no, definitely KD's got to, he tried to do his own thing, hasn't worked, not his fault, just because he teamed up with the Muppet, still try and push it out, and I think he's got another chip on his shoulder he needs to shake off.
What's he pushing out?
Sorry?
I'm not sure we want the answer. I'm not sure we want the answer to that. I'm not sure we want the answer to that. Well, I'm in agreement with the other two. I think Kevin Durant will win the MVP this year. As I said, I think the love that came back for KD's on-court performance during the playoffs will just reignite the MVP voters to vote for him. So out of the West, I do agree with Nate. Unfortunately, I like disagreeing with Nate, but if Denver are a top 2 seed, then Nikola Jokic is going to be well and truly in the frame. And from a Phoenix perspective, Devin Booker goes past Chris Paul this year, and I think will be in the discussion for the MVP by the end of the season. I'd love for him to win it. I don't think he will, but I certainly think he'll be in the discussion by the end of the year.
I'm fully convinced that you cunts don't have souls, and just this fucking flaky Kevin Durant, Dallas Mavericks love that you have. Fucking team.
Hold on.
A team jumping.
I didn't put Dallas
KD.
in my top 4.
Not you, Gav. I mean,
Thanks,
I'm taking shots all across the board here. But
So much for cleaning this pot up.
He's got the pistols. He's got the pistols out. He's just
He's
throwing
dropping the 4 C's on us now. Jeez.
My brain is overheating right now. Anyway,
all right.
continue.
Boyd, Defensive Player of the Year.
Defensive player of the year, I'm going to give it to my main man, which I was a little upset with around the Olympics.
Please say Ben Simmons, because I
Ben
really
Simmons.
want to watch how. Yes,
Ben
Hamo,
Simmons.
how much do you love that nomination, Hamo?
As much as he loved my KD one.
Yeah.
Mate, and what about
I'm
from a Suns perspective, mate? Who's our best hope?
Our best hope?
Oh.
It's got to be, look, I think just because of him being the anchor, it's got to be DA, but we all know that the best well-rounded defenders, Mikhail. And I think, look, and spoiler, I think Mikhail's a shoe-in for an all-defensive team, but I think DA just being the anchor of the defense.
Hey, we're not up to there yet. Jeez.
Defensive player of the year for the Suns, I think DA. But overall, I think our boy Ben, our buddy Ben.
Ben, yeah, good man.
Great
Nate,
bloke.
who you got? Defensive player of the year.
I think it's pointless throwing to me on this one because I have not looked into it, and I think
Yeah, we know you love your stats.
Default position is the stifle tower, and I honestly think Bridges is going to step up the defensive thing, like you said, Boyd, not to rain on the next segment that Gav wants to throw us that we're not prepared for. But all defensive team has got Bridges' name all over it, and I wouldn't be surprised if he passes Ayton as our best defensive all-round player.
Nice, Hamo. What do you got? Defensive player of the year.
Once again, not knowing what's going on with certain people in certain teams. If he wanted to, this would be the one chance for Joel Embiid to really step up and show that he wants to be a big baller. You know what I mean? Like, whether Simmons plays or not, whatever, I don't care. But I think he's going to, once again come in with a chip on his shoulder and show maybe why he should be the face of the team and not old Simo.
Yeah, good call. What about Suns? Who's our best
Suns?
chance?
Yeah, look, Mikhail, definitely. I know his numbers aren't high. Not Mikhail, sorry, that's number one. But for the second one, I know his numbers aren't the highest, but I don't see anyone play with as much heart as JaVale McGee does. That bloke's constantly running, man. He's constantly moving. I love what he does. Got the chance to be a good defender as well for us.
Well, for me, I think I said it in the last episode, and I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go big call. By the end of the year, DeAndre Ayton will be in the discussion for the Defensive Player of the Year to the point where I think he'll win it. I'm going to have a few bob on him because I think he is a very, very good chance of not only being in that conversation, but winning it. Defensively, he defensively stands out more than Mikhail. I think Mikhail's a better defender overall, as most of you have already said. But I honestly do think he'll be in that conversation. But it is the NBA, and we all know that in the NBA, they treat the Defensive Player of the Year like the AFL does, and they will just give it to Rudy Gobert even if he doesn't play.
Just to throw a little bit of shit back your way.
Like they did Alex Rance in the AFL.
But you reckon you got DA as in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year? Just in your view, is he wearing a Phoenix or a Minnesota jersey?
Phoenix.
Oh,
I never gave an answer. I never gave an answer on whether or not I'd complete that trade. So, me personally, I would not make the trade, and mainly because it involves Crowder. So, that's my opinion on that. I think that DeAndre Ayton stays at Phoenix anyway, but that's just my opinion as well, and I think he wins the Defensive Player of the Year. Rookie of the Year, boy.
I'm going with the Aussie, Mr. Giddy.
Ooh, I like it.
Got him in fantasy too.
His preseason was magnificent.
Yeah. Look, and I think it's he's going to get a lot of minutes there. I mean, it's a rebuilding team, and they're going to want to give him as much leash as they can. And I think he's a triple double. He's a walking triple double, mate. And I think another guy I have in fantasy, because I picked up Cade as well. Now, the number one pick, but still, I just think he's going to have he hasn't. I think he's going to have a lot more pressure being that first point for the attack. They're going to run everything through him. Where I think Giddy's going to have better
SGA.
looks because he's got SGA there as that first initiator. Whereas I think that Cade's going to have a bit too much thrown on him. I might actually dump him from fantasy because I think he's going to be a bit of a turnover king. But yeah, I'm thinking.
I'm more than
happy.
Really I'm more than happy for you to trade him to me. If you want to get rid of him, I'll give you, I don't know, some scrap at the back end of my fantasy team.
I'll wait until a couple of weeks.
Now you're going to wait. You were dumping him a second ago.
No, there's a reason that I picked him up for that reason. Because that's right.
Nate, who you got?
Very clear. I think Jalen Green. I think,
and of course, we can't nominate anyone from Phoenix because we don't have any rookies.
No, like the Jalen Green pick, his attitude that he's pissed off he didn't go number one, I think is hilarious. The fact that he played against real men in the G League and not the college situation, and I think he's got more of the supporting network around him. I think is more suited to the player he is and where they're all going to develop at the same rate. So I think it's going to complement where he's going. Whereas Cade, while he's the number one pick because of that NCAA sentiment, he's got a fucking shit show around him.
Yeah,
he really does.
Yeah, good call.
As for Giddy, I mean, I appreciate the Aussie sentiment, but I don't know. I mean, I'm a Bullets member and I go to all the Bullets games, and I don't know. I was really surprised he went as high as 6, to be honest. I mean, I heard all the talk, and I guess you look at what he's going up against, but I think he might take a year in the NBA before he gets comfortable, and because he's got a strong cast around him there.
Yeah, he does.
Like you say, you say he's going to get the minutes, but they're not shallow.
Fair call. Hey, mate.
I've actually got Giddy written down here. I thought exactly the same, man. I thought it's only pre-season, whatever, but he's walked in and he's shown he's not there to mess around. And I think getting them coming in at 6 will probably, like you're saying for number 2, it'll fuel him and just I think he's going to have a pretty damn big season. I think it's going to come out of left field. No one's going to see it coming.
Fair call. Personally, I'm kind of with Nate again on this, which makes me sick to my stomach. I think Giddy will be extremely solid as a rookie for OKC, but let's be honest, SGA is still the man. He's going to have most of the ball. I think Giddy will take some time to fill into that role. There is a little bit of depth there around what they do and how they set up. I think that if you just watch the preseason, Lou Dort is going to pick up a lot more of the offensive responsibility. And when you look at Lou Dort against Josh Giddey, very similar sizes, similar players. I think Josh will be great though, and he will certainly get some highlight reels. But Jalen Green, for me, he's going to be the man. That's if he can get the ball out of the hands of the black hole of basketball, Kevin Porter Jr., who is basically...
It's a big hole, man.
He's basically the new Andrew Wiggins that just refuses to pass the ball after he's got it. But I think Jalen Green is really exciting. And, of course, Cade is... if you just watch the highlights of Cade in college, he was magnificent. And he's going to have plenty of the ball. He's going to be the starting point guard at Detroit, and he's going to be hard to stop. But my tip is Jalen Green as well. Sixth man of the year, Boyd.
Sixth man of the year. It's going to our guy, Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson. No, I think he's taken that big of a leap. I think just from what I saw, he's added a couple of layers to his game. He's not just a spot up guy. So I think he's only going to get better. His percentage of shooting. I think he'll be over 40% this year. I think he was about, what was he last year, guys? Does anyone know off the top of their head? I think he was high 30s.
37 and a half.
Yeah, I think he cracks 40, and I think that playoff run really matured him a lot. I think he never missed a step all year in defense. He's going to stamp his mark on the game. I think, and I still think from last week's spot, I think he's a chance, if it's all amicable within the team, I think he's a chance of taking the starting spot. So that might actually work against me. That's how confident I am in the leap that Cam Johnson's going to take this year.
Well, he's put on size too, which I think was really important for.
But he hasn't lost
what he wanted to do.
He hasn't lost a step either. No.
But during the preseason, you saw him attacking the basket more as well, which is going to be it's going to be a big advantage to him.
Yeah, I want to jump in here with a comment on that before you move on, and I hope I don't piss everyone off by saying this, but do you think Cam Johnson is the league's new Chris Middleton?
Ooh.
Well,
he's probably closer to a power forward than Middleton's. Probably more shooting guard, small forward, where Cam's small forward power.
I think look, no. Look, where he fits.
It's not bad though. It's not bad.
I think it's a good comparison.
Be interesting. Yeah, we come up against him again, and he takes his stride. He could somewhat embarrass Chris Middleton. I think.
Well, if he's built his game, around Middleton,
now you're talking with soul, Nate. Now you're talking with soul. That's what I'm over here.
You've made him happy. You've made him a happy man, Nate. Well done. All right, Nate, who have you got? Sixth man of the year.
Well, it's not a son. So sorry. I thought if anyone's going to get noticed for the sixth man, I thought it would be Campaign, just because, as I said last week, he's always overly flashy and makes sure he gets seen. But I don't know why we keep going back to Philly, all of us, but I think Tyrese Maxey.
I like Tyrese. I think he's going to have a really good season.
You don't think when he starts after they trade Ben?
Yes, he does. I think he does.
Well, I think he'll start beforehand, and then as long as Ben's around, he'll go back to the bench. And then I wasn't banking on the fact that Simmons gets traded. I was just banking on the fact that he's going to repeat the same role, but take that leap and get that little bit of extra opportunity while Ben's being a bitch.
Leave Ben alone. Fuck.
Jesus, we're so mean to Ben. What
Did
about
it to himself?
And from a son's perspective, you think Campaign?
I think as far as the conversation goes, Campaign is going to make sure his name's in the conversation.
Well, Gav reckons he's going back to China, mate. So I don't think.
I don't know. I never said that. I said he's going to the back of the bench.
Kyrie and Simo.
And this is why you got to listen to the end of these podcasts, all the way to the end.
Hey, mate, what do you got for us?
Look, I don't have any real personal stake in this one at all. Just going on the predictions.
You don't think you're a chance?
No, not this year. Derrick Rose, just from the predictions that I've been reading, the overall perspective of people seems to be thinking Derrick Rose. I've got no evidence to argue with it, so that'd be about it.
If the fans in Madison Square Garden have got anything to say about it, he'll be starting over Kemba.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Derrick Rose was a popular pick last year. They ended up giving it to Jordan Clarkson, and but I think Derrick Rose was right in the mix, especially because he picked up MVP votes, which I don't know what the hell happened there. But
you did just remind me of someone, and I'm not sure if he's starting or coming off the bench, but Iguodala going back to the Warriors. If he's coming off the bench, he could be running for six man.
Yeah, if he's got his Zimmer frame with him.
Yeah. Well, he should have signed with the Lakers if he's got his Zimmer frame with him.
Yeah.
I've got
Ariza's offered as an injury. He could do an injury replacement for Ariza.
Now, this is the unfortunate part of hosting. It's really hurtful, but I have to fucking agree with Nate again. I actually have Tyrese Maxey as the sixth man. this
Wow,
year.
you're going to stop letting me go first, aren't you?
This is ridiculous. It's making me ill to the stomach, but I think Tyrese Maxey's really well positioned for the six-man role this year. And I think he'll get a lot of votes. He's very popular in the voting circles, in the GM circles, and I think he's right there. When it comes to the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to throw up something different. I think that by the end of the season, when campaign is at the end of the bench, Landry Shamet will be the man who has a big chance of being in the six-man conversation for the Phoenix Suns.
Spicy. I like it. I like
No
it.
argument whatsoever.
Most improved player. What do you got for us, Boyd?
Most improved player, I think Matisse Thybulle with the 76ers, and I think it comes off a few more minutes when Ben and a friend could get moved along. I think Tyrese Maxey, he's got the same Rich Paul agent. So if shit goes really sour, Rich Paul might do his thing where he says, well, if I can get my other guy out as well.
I'll take Tyrese as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm just got the tinfoil hat on. But yeah, look, I just think with a bit of movement around now, I think Matisse Thybulle coming off a stellar performance in the Olympics, and yeah, I think, man, look, he's an all defensive team candidate as well, and I just think that he's just gonna. People got a bit of a look at him last year, and I think they're going to really, really see some production this year from him.
Well, he made all defensive.
He did?
Second all defensive last year.
Did he really?
Yeah, I think he might have been all second defensive team last year.
I didn't think that he played enough, and he's not even. He wasn't even a starter. Yeah, okay. No, well,
I'm not sure. I just had a feeling he was, but yeah, he was.
I thought he was in the conversation.
He was second team. Second team.
Second team.
Yep.
Okay. No, I've still got him as most improved.
They only have two all defensive teams, but yeah, he was named in the second team all defensive last year.
Yeah, right.
Okay, and from a Suns perspective, if we're going to have anyone in the MIP, I'm assuming Cam Johnson will be your vote again there.
Yeah. Of course.
Nate, what do you got for us?
Well, I'll start with the Suns' perspective and just go, yeah, Cam. And that's...
Oh, thank you, Nate.
But, I mean, he has to be too, because he's the next contract extension. So if he wants the money that he's seeing going this season, he has to be that player.
Yeah.
And none of you are going to like the name I actually wrote down for who I think is going to be the candidate for most improved player, Kevin Porter Jr. in Houston. And the reason I say that is much like what I said about Booker earlier on with the player efficiency, like the choosing better shots. I think there's going to be more of a spotlight on Houston with Jalen Green, Christian Wood, and maybe more of the permanent future cast where he's going to be told, be more effective. You've got people around you now. You can't just put up anything you want. And that's my reasoning.
I'm not upset with that at all.
I can say that. Yeah, I can absolutely see that. I think from an impact perspective, compared to what he has given previously, he's going to be well positioned in that award. So
is that your one as well, Gav?
No. Hamo, who you got?
On the great amount of time that we had to prepare for it,
come on, mate.
Just going to go with Lonzo Ball. He seems to be high up there. He's surrounded by a group of guys that he looks comfortable with. Not that he wasn't around a good team in New Orleans, but he just, I don't know. It just seems to suit him a bit more. Having like Levine, a run and gun kind of dude, might perk him up a bit.
I don't mind it.
Couldn't get any worse.
Good question, Gav.
What about from? Yeah.
Did you trade him?
I didn't even pick him. Fuck him. I'm sick of it.
in your fantasy and
I traded him. I told you I'm wiping him. Gone.
Good.
But I've had enough of his shit.
But he kept D'Angelo Russell.
No, I traded D'Angelo Russell. Oh no, I did I did originally keep him, but I ended up trading him, and I was really happy with it too. I traded D'Angelo Russell and DeMar DeRozan for somebody, and it didn't matter who, because I was going to drop them anyway.
Blown away.
Actually, I just traded them for money, really, for the draft, and yeah, it was nice. Okay, Hamo, what about Suns players?
I know he's already doing a lot, but Mikhail Bridges could be just next level this year. He really could. Cam Johnson too, but I think Mikhail, now that he's got a bit of a bag under him, he's just going to money bag. He's just going to, just shoot for the stars, man.
The starting small forward position is now his to own.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
played it all last year, but now there's no question it's his. Yeah.
Absolutely, it is. And by the way, I traded those two, DeRozan and D'Angelo Russell, for Klay Thompson.
I'd take it.
And money.
But he's injured. He's not going to give you anything.
He'll be back before Christmas. Christmas Day, he'll be back
by March.
Listen, it's a legacy league. It's a legacy league. I did it for the long term.
Yeah. All right. You play keeper league. Fair enough.
I think the most improved player this year will be John Collins, just because I want to piss Nate off right now.
Don't really care that much.
No, look, sixth player of the year was my choice was Tyrese Maxey. I think he actually wins them both. Has anyone ever won both?
Don't know.
Has anyone ever cared?
I've got a can.
Gladys, our fact checker.
You've got a can, but do you have a care?
Oh, I don't really care. Most improved player, I don't really care. I don't think anyone from Phoenix wins it, mainly because we're already that damn good. No, well, that was just a throwaway line, to be honest. But if anyone
we're in the finals.
That's true. That's true.
No longer a throwaway line.
If anyone does win it, it's Cam Johnson. I think he can probably take the biggest step out of the list we got, or Tyshawn Alexander, who we just pick up late on a two-way contract and comes in and becomes our starting point guard. Nothing? Come on, guys. Jeez.
No, this is like,
all right.
Boyd's little inhaler there, or what?
No, nearly choked on it, but
there's a special mix. All right. So, do any Suns make All NBA? Boyd.
Yes.
Yes.
Who? And where?
We got three.
Yep.
We got DA. We got Chris Paul, and we got Devin Booker.
And where do they make All NBA?
First.
Okay, we've got
DA might slip to second.
Yeah, I think
it's not your turn.
I think we've got two in the third team, and I think I've got one in the second, being Devin Booker.
So Devin Booker, All NBA second team shooting guard, and Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton, All NBA third.
Yes.
All right, Nate.
I'm lost on this one, but All NBA, 3 teams, that's 15 positions, and you've got 3 Suns in the top 15 best players. I just
sure do.
Mathematically, I can't get on board.
Well, we're winning a fucking title, Nate. We're going to have 3 of the top 15 players. Fuck, you dig?
And we're going.
Can't argue with that logic.
We're going 78-4. What's fucking wrong with you?
You didn't ask me about my prediction for the season, man. I got down here 66-16.
Okay,
the predictions.
Yeah, last week.
Oh.
When I was out and doing walkabout with Kyrie.
All right, Nate, what do you got? Who's our All NBA players?
Well, I don't, but I think Booker has to make it this year.
Just in one of the 3?
Yeah.
All right, give us the prediction.
Is where I think Mikhail Bridges makes an all defensive.
Okay, we're not up to that. So give us where Booker.
That's it. That's all I'm doing.
Where does Booker fit in All NBA? 1, 2, or 3?
I think he'll go 3 on the plain snub thing. He always gets snubbed, and he has got to earn it. Like, he's earned it now, but I'm talking the general media and what forth. Yeah.
Yep, fair call. Hey, mate, what do we got? Who's making all NBA?
Book and CP3. I think CP3 will be 2 and Book will be 1.
Oof, big call. All right, I'm with Nate. Devin Booker's the only one who makes it. He makes team 2.
You and Nate got to stop agreeing, man. I don't know.
Well, we didn't fully.
One
We
week.
didn't fully agree. He thinks to the All NBA third team. I think the second team.
This is the most agreeable week we've ever had, though.
We really have. So I've got to find a topic that I can fix you up on. All defensive. Do any Phoenix Suns make it, Boyd?
Yeah,
Keeping in mind, there's only 2 teams.
Yeah, we've got 2. We've got DA and we got Bridges.
Okay, which teams? 1 and 2.
1 and 2. DA 1. Both 2.
Both 2.
And again, because we're winning the fucking chip.
Yeah.
And this is what teams that win chips fucking have.
And we're going to be the
defensive and
number
all
1
NBA
defensive
talent.
team. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Nate?
Yeah, look, I did just have Bridges in the second defensive team, but I'm going to go with Boyd on the premise that DA changes his tampon and a deal gets done in the next 11 hours.
Very good. Hey, mate?
Look, I'm just going to go with Bridges' second team.
Very good. Well, number 1, DeAndre Ayton wins the Defensive Player of the Year, so he goes into team 1. And I don't think Bridges makes either team.
Oh.
So just DA for me.
Next week's flog of the week, Gavin.
Gavin. Yeah. I'll make it a big callsy. All right, our next segment, the week ahead, we are going to look at our week because obviously our podcasts are going to be Monday nights. So each week I want to have a look at the games that are coming up during the week. This week we have Thursday their time. I think it's Wednesday our time. Or is it Thursday our time? Thursday our time, 1 p.m. Thursday, 1 p.m. versus Denver. What's our prediction, boys? Boyd, do we open the season strongly?
Certainly do. We win. We're gonna clean them up. There's no Murray there. MPJ, a lot of pressure on him. Big fucking contract, big dog. We're gonna make him look silly again. Jokic, I don't know. Is he coming back in shape or not? I don't know. I haven't really been keeping up, but I think he peaked last year. I don't think he's going to be quite the same. And I think DA is going to take that step and close that gap a little bit. So, yeah, I think we clean him up handily by 20.
Well, based on the fact that Gavin's gone for a fart, I'm going to jump right in there. I've got a bit of extra preamble with mine. So I thought when we're looking at the week ahead, I'm going to take a bit more of a broader view and look at the very first game of the season. So it all starts with Brooklyn and Milwaukee, followed by Lakers Warriors on the same day. I want to look at the Warriors Lakers game, and I want the Lakers to die a very painful, very low, slow death. And I've got a prediction there that Jordan Poole is going to piss down on the Lakers just like the last 2 preseason games. And why is this relevant? Because in the interest of trying not to swear as much on this pod, fuck the Lakers, and along with Laker Nation alongside them. This continues on to our first game, which I believe, obviously, we're going to take the head-to-head, and I'm going to lean into the multi with the head. We're $1.40 favorites over Denver at 3-1, so we're $1.40. That's so I think then we go into our second game, which is also in the same week, and we shit on the Golden State Warriors. Just because I picked them to beat the Lakers because I want Lakers to lose doesn't mean they should get away with a positive for the week. So we go in and we shit on the Warriors as well. And in that game, Ayton's going to pull off a double-double. There's my predictions.
Apologies for that. I was family emergency and I ended up with too much light in where normally my lights go off. So have you guys addressed all the games or just the one?
Nate's
I
Nate
pretty much addressed everything.
Nate
Nate
addressed
jumped
everything.
in. I'm just waiting for him to start on the fucking G League now. He's been pretty thorough.
Well, I heard you talking about the Golden State Warriors there, mate. Why?
Well, if you hadn't have gone for a fart, you would have caught, the
Well,
30...
the Golden State Warriors aren't until next week. So stop
But
getting ahead of yourself.
Yeah, so they actually play on the first day of the regular season, though. They're the second game, which comes in after Brooklyn versus Milwaukee. And
Yep.
my point of my preamble was I want them to shit on the Lakers.
Yeah, which is nice.
And part of why I would say that is because I want to tie that back into when we play them and we shit on them.
Okay, that's lovely. Hamo, I'm going to ignore him now. Fuck, he's gone too far. What's your prediction for the Denver game?
The first few games of the season are going to be statement games for us. I think we come out and we put an absolute murdering on Denver. I don't know, let's say win by 26, I guess.
That is a big win.
Yep.
Denver, I think we win the game. Just to rub in the 4-0 that we had last year. And obviously, if you read every comment from every Denver fan, we would have got swept if Jamal Murray played. Sorry, Denver fans, Jamal Murray's not playing, so that must mean we win again. Game 2, Saturday, 23rd, 1 p.m. at the Lakers. Boyd, what are we doing there?
We get them, mate. They're already breaking down, so yeah, we get them. And it's, mate, I just think we're better. We're better. They've got a couple of ring-ins. They've got a couple of young guys. Is it Kendrick Nunn? And they've got
Malik Monk.
Yeah. I mean, but they're not beating us. And is
They're
it
not
a
even
reason?
using Malik Monk correctly. They're not going to use him right.
Yeah. Look, I think, and look, now we're not in preseason anymore. Now you're going to see more of Russell, and he's fucking turning that ball over, silly man. And I cannot wait to see our guys, picking him apart. And so look, I think, mate, I can 10 plus.
Mikhail Bridges could legitimately have 7 steals in that game.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think we've got them 10 plus. I think even if LeBron and AD have big games, I just think we're going to kill them everywhere else. That simple.
Nate?
I'm actually just writing down another prediction, actually, based on, I had a little visual from Boyd's conversation. I could just picture Westbrook literally shitting the bed. And there's a still frame of JaVale McGee, who's the classic Shaqtin' a Fool, pointing and laughing at Westbrook. And then there'll be captions all over the internet.
Oh, that's gold.
This means.
So you think we beat the Lakers?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
I literally
Just to make sure.
Predictions I had here. I had predictions for West, East, and a couple other things. And my prediction for the West was the Lakers are going to eat humble pie, and they're going to be scraping back into the 8.
Very good, Hamo. What happens with the Lakers game? Keep in mind that you've just had us beating Denver by 26.
114. No, we definitely win. I mean, Boyd said it. They're breaking down. They just need, I don't know what they need. They can't be fixed at this point, man. They really can't. LeBron, AD have big games. Westbrook, like you said, going to have a shocker. But even if they do, a couple of them turn it on. We're so deep on our bench at the moment, and just every time I see us run out on the floor in a different squad, it's like, my God, we are that damn good in every area at the moment. I'm really not worried about the Lakers.
Everything about the Lakers is that mentality of just throw money at it. That'll fix it.
Yeah.
There's no development. There's no strategy. It's just throw money at it.
All right.
Just
so
wheels in one more of his mates year after year to see if that fixes it.
So the Lakers will start the season on a tear. They will be
It's a tear in the banana boat.
They will be hard to beat early in the season before they all break down. And this game is a 1 p.m. game, which means a 7 p.m. game over there, which means most of them should be in bed. And I think that at halftime we'll all be sitting there and our chat will be going off about how shit we're playing, and then we'll just tear them apart in the second half. And we will beat the Lakers because they are our bitches right now, and we absolutely own them. Sunday, 24th. How good's this weekend, by the way? Everybody's going to be out of lockdown. The freedoms are back open, and we've got a Saturday 1 p.m. and a Sunday 1 p.m. This is sensational.
Back to back.
Have we checked if they're on ESPN? Oh, that was one of the things I meant to look up, was how many games we've actually got on ESPN this season, meaning we can watch it.
We actually have
the
Phoenix Suns actually have the second most ESPN televised games this season.
About damn time.
Guess who's first?
Well, I wonder.
Boyd, Portland, Sunday, 1 p.m., which won't be on ESPN because Portland are trash.
Another win. It's probably going to be, and this is all wishful thinking, guys. I'm a Suns, right? I'm a Suns guy.
Homers.
I just these guys are going to match us a bit better in that backcourt than any of these other two squads, and that's our 1-2 punch, right? So I think that's going to probably be the closest of the three. And I think, but yeah, I think similar to what Hamo was saying before, we're far too deep, and I think we get them everywhere else on the court. And look, I think our backcourt's better. Don't get me wrong. I just think out of the first three games, that's probably going to be our toughest backcourt matchup.
So just before I do go to Nate, just to back this one up, Nate, the Nuggets game is on ESPN. The Lakers game is on ESPN. The Portland game is on SBS.
Okay, all right.
So we are, those of you that don't have League Pass, we are televised on Foxtel for the first two games. And I would suggest KO for the first two games and SBS for the third game for this week. So we might just add that in for any of the future games as well.
At least I can get the SBS game at the Kedron Park Hotel. That's nice and close.
Oh, yes, that's lovely. I might go down to American Social here in Sudbury, who do some fantastic stuff with the old Yankee food, and have the 875 big screens, and which is where I watched game 2 of the playoffs. So I'm looking forward to that. Nate, what's your prediction against Portland?
Oh, W. Especially after the preseason, episode we saw. I mean, that was, God, that second half was hard to watch.
It was.
How often do we see a game over by halftime when Damian Lillard playing?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. They are in for a world of hurt this year, I reckon, Portland. Unless the trade goes through that I think will go through, which we'll see CJ McCollum head to the 76ers and Ben Simmons head to Portland. And then I think they will be
this week, so.
They'll be a better side. Hamo, prediction, keep in mind we've already flogged 2 teams.
Yep. We're flogging Portland.
Yep.
Like Nate said, what happened in the preseason game, it's preseason, whatever, but it was quite a touch-up. I can't see us having much of a problem with them.
So from my perspective, I think that Dame Lillard is a dangerous player. He will do some really good things in every game he plays, but their bench is horrible. And I think that we are up there we're in the top 3 for benches in the competition this year, where we stand right now. And when Dame has to sit, we are going to absolutely pulverize this mob.
Mate, don't be so confident. We got Larry Nance, man. Shit. Get scared.
Pulverize.
He's going to open up our power forward position at the second unit.
I think the first 2 games probably not going to be as easy as Hamo thinks they are, but The Portland game, I'm not real fast. I think that we, from a second unit perspective, even our mate Chandler Hutchinson will get minutes. And Sticks might actually get like 10 or 12 minutes in this game.
Keep your eye on Hutch, man.
All right, our next segment, and this means silence from everybody else apart from Boyd for 60 seconds. I hope you timed yourself here, Boyd.
I haven't.
Because like I did with Nate last week, I will cut you off.
Okay.
You have 60 seconds. Ready? See, oh, by the way, this is 60 seconds with Boyd. Ready, set, your time starts now.
Okay, so this week, with all the contract extension talk, we've got a lot of flack being thrown at the Suns front office, particularly Mr. Robert Sava, about not extending DA. We've got people who are supposed to be fans who are trying to trade DA. People in this very country that we live in, people at the top of our group are throwing out trade DA for cat propaganda. Now, guys, I mean, it's. I know.
20
you
to
said
go.
that. I know you said that you know it wasn't what you wanted, but I mean, all this talk is it's not on. We just made the finals. Let's stick with it, and let's fucking start giving some props to Bobby Sava for the good shit and getting Mikhail Bridges, and just trust that he will get DA back. And don't fucking trade him, guys. Fucking keep him. He's our franchise center.
Time's up. Nate, rebuttal.
What rebuttal?
Okay, comments.
None. Great, good work. Give the man another 30 seconds.
Hey, mate.
Yeah, man. I totally agree with everything you've said. Touched on it earlier that we're building around a centre who wanted to play with us. We cannot turn our back on him for a chance and lose Crowder as well. So yeah, let's stop talking about Cat because he's a bitch.
Now, and just before Gavin has his rebuttal, I actually thought you were more into the Cat trade before I thought that up. And at the end of the day, I guess we're all Suns fans first. And if the trade did happen, we'd find a way to fucking live with it. But let's not go there.
Shitload of W's.
Too
Right.
much. But anyway, go, Gav.
Is it my turn now?
Yep, go, mate.
Yeah, no, well said. I'm going to, when I started the group, I wanted to put as much information in there as I could, and I'll still continue to do that, throw up questions, put stuff out there for people. But this is why I love 60 seconds with. These opinions are what we want. This is what we want to hear. This is what Suns fans think. Reality is, at the end of the day, DeAndre Ayton, we've backed him in as our number one pick. And all the Luka lovers, all the Cat lovers, and we've heard from, last couple of seasons, let's trade DeAndre Ayton for Cat. End of the day, we backed this bloke in as the number one pick. And guess what? During the finals last year, he showed us why we picked him at number one. So I absolutely agree with you. Well done, Boyd.
Can we
spot on.
Can I so the whole Bobby Sava stuff, you're not gonna fucking shoot that down? Everyone loves taking a shot at Bobby.
He's turned himself around the last season or so, man, whether it's James Jones in his ear or whatever it is, but he's I think majority of Suns fans will be happy with his efforts.
Credit where credit's due, eh? I don't think there's enough credit for the guy.
I shot down, I was pretty hard on Sava a couple of seasons ago, where I agreed with the billboard, the sell Suns thing, and I was pretty strong on it. But reality is that I did a bit of reading and a bit of research on this, so particularly over the last week with the Ayton contract. Everyone keeps saying Robert Sava's notoriously tight. He only ever did up once with Joe Johnson. That's the only time. When Devin Booker was eligible for an extension, he walked up the day after he was eligible and went, here's the biggest contract I can give you.
And yeah, look, I also remember I've got scars. I've got Sava scars just like anyone. He also sold draft picks, number 1 draft picks for cash.
Yeah.
Which was, I know we probably didn't need it, but and they weren't valued as much back then. But he was traditionally cheap. But my thing is that, you know, we can give players second chances. We can give anyone in life a second chance. But this guy, because we're all fucking, you know, diehard Suns fans, he's just such an easy target. But I see so much fucking fire coming at this guy for every single thing that goes wrong in this franchise. But whenever something really good happens, there's not a fucking single kudos in it for this guy.
No, it's all James Jones.
You know what I mean? It's just like,
it's all James Jones. But reality is, I do agree with you. What he's done over the last couple of seasons has proven that the best interests of the Phoenix Suns franchise is front of mind for him right now. He wants to see a title just as much as anyone else does. So I think that the stuff that's been pushed back on Sava, particularly in the last 2 years, and look, I get the stuff about Ayton at the moment, but it's not dead yet. The extension's not dead yet.
He's still got a whole nother year. He's got a whole nother year, and then he goes into restricted free agency where we can match any offer, and that's a year away, man.
That's the big thing, and that was one of the things I read today. If he doesn't sign by next year, by the end of next year, the most any other team can offer him is 4 years, and we can offer him 5. Yeah. And no other team can offer him more money than we can. It's a straight match.
And but we can also, if they do throw him a 4-year offer, we can say we match it and just keep him for that 4 years for that offer. That's how the matching the restricted free agency works.
And that's why there's a lot pissy though, because that's an option that milks him out of some money.
Yeah, potentially does, but I don't think that happens either. Reality is that I think Ayton and his agent know, and James Jones is not a deal. We've seen that. Robert Sava is not a deal. They will be saying to him, we're not quite close enough on this current deal. But I'll tell you right now that when you take an offer sheet next year, which I don't think he will, I think he'll just re-sign with the Suns if he doesn't do it in the next 11 hours. He will, the Phoenix Suns would have already told this guy, no matter what, when we do the contract next year, it will be for 5 years and it will be for what we can negotiate. I think they're just trying to inspire him a little bit. But in saying that, I'm not convinced that it doesn't happen before deadline anyway.
Yeah.
Where I sit right now. So,
guys, I know we're chewing up time here, but before we move off from Sava, I just want to make a couple of points in the man's favour. To kill the Sava haters, think about any wealthy individual, and based purely on the net value of the Suns, this guy is a billionaire. They don't get to that point by being dumb. They're smart, shrewd businessmen. They're very strategic. They think 7 moves ahead any one of us would ever think to get to. And secondly, we've all done things for the first time. He bought a team, he bought a sports team, and he got a little bit too friggin' involved.
Yeah.
And he copped all the flack for it. And he's still copping the flack for it. But that photo that I was talking about earlier, where you see Sava and Ayton sitting down 4 days ago, that's a guy worth billions of dollars, at least 1.5 billion based on the Suns' value, sitting down having a negotiation with an early 20-year-old.
Yep.
He's not losing the argument.
No. Absolutely agree. Really good 60 seconds with. Well done, Boyd. Hamo, start studying now. You're next week. All right, multi. I did leave it off the list. I apologise.
Well, we don't have a lot of stats yet because I went through Ladbrokes and there's not a whole bunch in there we can really pinpoint to make a good multi yet, other than head-to-heads. And
just throw it up in the group.
All right. So Hamo has nominated himself to put the multi on this week. So what we will do is we will throw it into the group. I was actually thinking more along the lines of head-to-head games for the week. and just punching them in.
Well,
And
based on the previous conversation, there's just W's all in the column.
well, what I
We
was
go
thinking
82
was
and 0.
we're all realistic. We know we're not going to go 82 and 0. So when we get to this conversation each week, we will be able to pick the games and say, well, this game here doesn't look like one we may have debate over a win or loss or whatever. We can leave it out. We're all confident that we're going to start the season 3-0. But I do agree with Boyd. Let's throw it in. We'll see whether maybe we might target a game and say, okay, are you guys happy with this? We'll throw it in the group and go, guys, we'll throw up some options in the group. You guys vote on it, and whatever you vote on, we'll put on. But let's target the Lakers game.
Well, I still want Aiden to double in the Warriors game. Yeah, Wiseman's out.
That's the week
Also,
after,
guys,
mate.
It's a revenge
The
game.
Warriors game's the week after.
Keep in mind too, if we've got a week and we're just going to go on, if we're just going to go on wins and losses,
But we'll have another pod before the Warriors game.
If we're betting on 3 games, 3 wins, and we're favourites for every game, we're going to have really small odds.
You might look at margins or something instead.
Warriors game is Sunday, so even if that's the day later, that's still going to be the Monday here in the morning before we pod.
Sunday, their time. The Warriors play the Kings.
I've got down here Sunday, Phoenix $1.60 versus Golden State Warrior 235.
No.
Or maybe Ladbrokes have opened it up for a while then.
On your laddies.
Either way.
Anyway,
So if we look at it, that's true.
Yeah. Pod's best friend.
So we have our first game is Thursday our time against the Nuggets. Then we play Saturday our time against the Lakers. Then we play Sunday our time against Portland.
So it's Sunday week, is it? Okay.
It must be Sunday week.
Yeah, well, let's go for the Lakers game because you did mention Mikhail Bridges to have 7 steals.
Yeah, good point.
But yeah, I think we just rock up with the Lakers game, and I'll put some options up on the page, and we can basically roll it out from there.
Suns fans, tell us what you want.
That's it. All right. New segment this year. What we're going to do is roll out some Suns trivia, and hopefully as we get through the season, we might be able to we do have some American followers now and stuff like that. So hopefully as we build, we might be able to start to get prizes for these. These questions will become more obscure and a little bit more difficult. And what I ask of the people on our page, and this will be exclusive to the Aussie Suns fans Facebook page, we're going to ask a question, and in the comments section of we'll make it exclusive to the YouTube channel. In the YouTube channel, you need to put a comment in, providing the answer to the question. And as we go along, hopefully we'll be able to build up some prizes that we can give out to people who get it right first. Try and answer the question without Googling it. I know that's hard, but try and do it. Question 1 for this week. Remember, in the YouTube comments on our page, so that we know that you've watched it and you're on there, you must have subscribed to the YouTube channel. You must have liked the video in order to be eligible for any prizes that we may get. But our question is, what year were the Phoenix Suns founded? Make sure that you put that comment in to the YouTube channel on the comments, and Nate will track it and tell me, because I won't follow.
Very good question.
Question again, what year was the Phoenix Suns founded?
You know what's funny, Gav, is I actually Googled this recently, because when I made the email account up that the group would own, so that it was Suns fans, I had to put a birth date in there.
So you used this one? Lovely.
I did. Yeah.
I was going to say, do you guys want to have a guess? But that might spoil it. So we won't do that.
No, we certainly will not.
All right, guys. Thank you very much again for joining us. Fantastic podcast. We'll wrap it up now. The plan basically is that we will have a podcast every Monday. We will follow loosely the schedule. Obviously, this week was a bit longer because we did some season predictions, but we will loosely follow a schedule each week that looks at the games ahead, looks at the games that have already been on, and looks at where we're positioned overall. Nate, thank you very much again for joining us.
Thank you.
Any last farewell comments that you'd like to give to our team?
Yes. I promised I would come back and shit on Boyd for one of his earlier predictions.
Okay, go. Shoot.
I don't want to let it slide.
Good luck.
So one of my predictions I've written down here was the complete opposite of one of yours earlier on. I've got Boston falling off a cliff.
All right, tell me why.
They're following Kyrie.
Mate.
I know why, because they're shit.
Well, the center position got worse, the point guard position got worse, and the whole team's hanging on two players.
Oh, no,
and
that's
like
too much.
you, Jason Tatum is just give me the ball, I'm the best, but you're actually not.
I do agree with that. Jaylen
Jaylen
Brown's their best player, but Jaylen Brown, I think, is their best player, but I don't think their point guard situation got worse. Dennis Schroeder is an upgrade from Kemba Walker because Kemba can't trip people.
You got Marcus. You got Marcus Smart there.
Oh, come
You've
on.
got and look,
But it's
I don't
status
know.
quo. They're not getting better.
Marcus Smart is a poor man's Pat Beverly.
Tatum's better than Brown. Al Horford is the missing glue piece that they really missed.
He's 112 years old.
He's the piece of Lego you step on carpet.
Mate, trust me. Al Horford is gonna fit back in there like a glove. He is.
You know.
He is that.
The pinky part of the glove with a little bit of lube on the end.
I would have liked.
Al's injured. He's not playing for a while.
He's not. No,
because
when he comes back, anyway.
Old.
Trust me, guys. I think
When he comes
I'm
back,
so
he'll
glad I
join the
brought
rest
it
of
up.
the old timers at the
they're going to be
Lakers.
they're going to be better, and you can hold me to that too. And they're going to. Oh, didn't you put Chicago in there?
Not me.
Who put? Oh no, that was Hemo. Anyway, I was going to come back. Anyway, you're fucking.
Hold that till you got a grudge with me, man.
You had. Oh, hang on, Nate. You had fucking Dallas in the top four in the better West.
This is what I was waiting for.
And then I think later on you said, I don't think that fucking Luka's going to be in the MVP conversation. Well, who the fuck else have they got? Porzingis? Come on, man.
No, what about Jalen Brunson?
Who? Come on, man.
I'm going to let you have that because, I had my stinger.
I would like to hear you give us a reason as to why they're going to be so much better than they were last year with Luka not being as good as he was, what people think he was this year.
Was they're going to get better without Luka being an MVP candidate.
Yeah, but he was this year.
No, he wasn't.
So he's going to have to
No, he wasn't.
regress. So where's all this?
The team can get better without us talking about him.
I think Dallas are going to get better when Goran Dragic gets traded there.
Tie back to the Suns.
No. You've really upset me.
That was magnificent.
We've upset everybody that's still fucking listening at this point.
Boyd, any final messages, Boyd?
No, I'm not going to sleep well tonight. Just fucking anyway. That's all.
Hey, mate.
Yeah, mate. Look, we've got a great deal that Nate knows a lot more about than I do with Ladbrokes. So be sure if you're interested in that.
It is still active. Aussie
Beautiful.
Suns fans is the code for new account holders.
New account holders only. Check out our Facebook page if you haven't already, and you found this by accident, which is so awesome. And yeah, we also run a pretty successful private group chat. So if you want in on that, let us know on the page and we'll add you into it.
Lovely, Hamo. My final message is like, subscribe, share with your friends. During the week, we were lucky enough. Well, lucky enough that we had a number of members outside of Phoenix chat groups and Phoenix Suns fans that listened to our podcast and really enjoyed it. So share it with your friends, because we are trying to do stuff out of the ordinary, not just the standard this and that. And to one of those friends that listen, Miami is shit. They will always be shit. And Alonzo Mourning is the most overrated player of all time.
Oh,
Like, subscribe, get on board. Love you guys. Thank you for joining.
Aussie
and
Suns
we will
fans.
see you next week.
See you guys.
As Chris Paul gets in, another wide open three.
Pierre Cardin.
Defers to Booker for the long-range jumper.
P-H-O-E-N-I-X. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. P-H-O-E-N-I-X. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. Chris Paul bring a dinner with the dish. D-Book on the corner with the swish. We the Valley, hating with the dump. Posterizing, now the crowd getting pumped. We the best, I ain't talking about Cali. Who's next? Never winning in the Valley. Can't wait for that championship rally. Send them home, send them back to Cali. Stand up if you're down for the Suns. Put a finger in the air, we number one. P-H-O-E-N-I-X. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. P-H-O-E-N-I-X. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing